people, Newbie again. Video number 8 of this N-scale layout. Now, I want to start first of all by saying something about this combination of the two layouts. Yes, I was not able to do everything that I really wanted to do with the layout that I purchased from aka Joe. However, don't get the attitude that it was a complete waste. I am using pretty much everything that I can. There's a lot of buildings, of course all the rolling stock, the track, the DCC, and several of those scenes, if you will, I'm going to use pretty much in their entirety. I've figured out a location for a couple of the major scenes, and I'm still working on what to do with the rest of what I can. And so it's, believe me, it's I am elated at what I was able to purchase from Joe. Anyway, getting on to today. What we've accomplished here since the last video, first of all, in the mountain area, around where the trestle and the bridge going under it, that particular part of the layout is something that I have to build the trestle before, because you know that whole area revolves around that trestle itself and how that's going to fit into that space. So I have to finish the trestle area, and so that's what I've been working on is getting that trestle completed. I originally I was going to use a combination of the trestle itself and this bridge, as you see here, but I got a little concerned about that because of the clearance height of the bridge going under it. So I've nixed that idea and decided to go with a girder type bridge above in the middle of the trestle instead of that particular bridge. So I've now I've actually completed the trestle itself, and it's looking pretty good, I think, and it's going to fit, and so that's where we are with that. One of the reasons I have to do that, of course, is because that grade is going to be very particular from the trestle coming back around, into the tunnel, and it loops back around and then comes back out, and the other bridge goes under it, the circular bridge, and so that circular bridge is a bit of a concern. So I need to really work on that. I've got that all figured out, and so that area is coming together pretty well. I had to do some serious modification to the bridges that I was going to use for that, and but that has been completed, and so you see here, this is pretty much the final design of that bridge area. There's going to be a waterfall coming down. It's still to be determined exactly how high that waterfall is going to be, but there's going to be a waterfall that drops down behind the trestle into a... Oops. And it's like technical problem there. There's a thing about camera batteries. They run out. And it just so happens that I used to use an AC adapter as opposed to batteries, but I've since gone just to using batteries, and this particular camera battery, all 7 episodes that I've done on this was with one battery charge. I don't think that's too bad. Anyway, so that battery just ran out. So let me get back to where I was. I was talking about the bridges and the area around the bridges. There'll be a waterfall behind the trestle, and it'll come down into a lagoon, and then there'll be a river that actually runs under the lower bridge and off the edge of the layout. And so that's the design. But anyway, what I was talking about was that area around the bridges there will dictate the grading between those two bridges. And so that's what I'm working on, is trying to get that grade right. I've got the grade that comes up from around behind the yard area along the wall. That's fixed, and that's in place. And so anyway, I've got the bridges all worked out now, and you see here, this is the final design of the bridge area. So now I can start trying to figure out exactly how to structure the grading around the bridges. Before I did that, though, here's a video of a DC train running through the bridge area. This was the general idea of what I wanted to happen. I shot this video when I was just putting the track together and trying to figure out what the layout would look like. And you see this little engine combo of 2A units and a B unit running on DC around through that area, and that was kind of fun. And that was how I was figuring what to do. So another area. I got to thinking about what the attitude or what the altitude of the mountain would be. So I took a piece of plywood and some 2x4s, and I thought, okay, let me get a general idea. It's, when you're dealing in 3D, it's kind of hard to visualize. And so I did this. And to try to get an idea of what this mountain terrain will really look like. And you see here the coal mine on the far left, over along the wall, and then the sawmill, and the building that I'm going to call it a monastery. I'm going to have that up on the top of the mountain and looking down over the valley to the city, if you will. And so this is kind of the idea of what I've got in mind for the height of the top of the mountain. And as I said before, this is to try to make there be a reason for the tunnels, because the mountain is so high that the railroad couldn't have economically cut through the mountain. So that's how that's going to work out. So now, in looking at that creates a real problem. That coal mine, the whole reason for having that coal mine is to have coal cars come from it. And I'm looking at this and I'm saying, yeah, that's how high that mountain has to be. I don't have a choice. That's my ultimate goal. That mountaintop has to be that high. But there's no way I'm going to be able to get a track up to that mountain coal mine. So I've had to do some changes. Of course, that's what this is all about. It's all about change, right? You come up with a plan and then you change it. So I've now decided that the coal mine is going to be down below the top of the mountain, and so here's the where the coal mine is going to be, and this I think is going to be doable. So I've been playing a little bit with grade, and you know, it's already a pretty steep grade coming up. That's the side of the backdrop there, and so I have to do a little practice, if you will, on that grade, so I first thing I did was I said, okay, now how much grade can one of my engines push? And so you see here I was doing a little practice with these 4 coal cars and trying to push them up the grade, and so, but that's about the limit, and so that's my basis for how high that coal mine is going to be back in the corner. And you see, I've moved that turnout farther down the grade so that I can lessen the steepness of that grade going up to the coal mine. So that coal mine spur is going to be considerably longer than I initially had planned, but that's okay. And so I'm pretty confident that that I'll be able to push coal cars up to the coal mine. It's important to have the sawmill up on the top grade, because my plan is that there's going to be a river up there and there's going to be a pool, and the pool is going to wrap around. Basically, there's going to be a pool that serves the sawmill, that there'll be logs in the pool, and they'll be coming up onto that conveyor thing, and so that's part of the sawmill. So the sawmill really has to be on the river. I don't have room for it at the bottom of the waterfall, of course, so it has to be up at the top. And so I tried to figure out a way that maybe I could have the river drop down, and technically that really didn't make any sense. So the sawmill has to be up at, you know, the higher level, and so I'm not going to be able to get rail cars up there. The grading just doesn't work. I tried to figure out, okay, can I do a loop or something that gets the grade up there, and it just takes up too much space. So the sawmill itself will be sitting up there, and they'll just have to use trucks. So that's that siding, that extra siding that I had intended to be in that grade going up, that has now been nixed completely, and we've given up on that idea. So I've finally got around to connecting the DCC, and it's working great. So here you see a train running on DCC around the layout, and yeah, there's some hesitation at a couple places where I've got block section breaks and that, but we're operating on the DCC now. It's looking good. I think I'm really excited about being able to run some trains, and so we're going to continue with getting the track finalized. I've got a lot of wiring to do for turnouts. Turnout wiring is going to be monumental. I'm not really looking forward to that. I've tentatively started wiring block sections, and that's working out okay. But block section wiring is a lot easier than turnout wiring, because I've got different kinds of turnouts, and so we're going to have to deal with that. That's down the road though. So right now I'm just trying to get everything operational so that I can run some trains. I've got some family coming, and I want to be running trains when they come. Some visitors, some grandkids from coming up from down south in a few days. So the push right now is to be able to get trains running for when they're here. I appreciate all the comments that of those of you that are watching. Thank you for the subscriptions, for all of the subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. It doesn't cost anything. It's easy to do. Just click on the red box, and you'll be informed about the next video when the videos come out. And it's I'm having fun doing this. So, and I appreciate all the support. It's going to be a journey still, but we're getting there, and we're going to see what happens.